Sonic Superstars, a charming yet difficult new entry in the Sonic canon, bringing back classic favourite Knack the Weasel, Fang the Hunter, and newcomer Trip the Sungazer, who is just adorable! While I could go on about the game's story and how its lore inserts itself into the greater story of the Chaos Emeralds, Sonic Superstars, its lead designer Naruto Oshima, along with head writer Ian Flynn, made a theory of mine false. Back when Sonic Forces was the punching bag of the day, I put forward my interpretation of what the Sonic timeline could have been given the circumstances. I suggested that the events of Sonic Mania were created as a result of Eggman messing with the timeline, thus creating another dimension which merges during the time of Sonic Forces and splinters off again to three distinct timelines as the events of Mania Plus and Mania Adventures contradict each other. I was wrong. As a famous tweet once said, everything is canon. While the events of Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 are as muddled as they've always been and thus affects the lore of Sonic Rush and Rivals, the Sonic timeline has remained fairly consistent with every subsequent game falling in line right after the other. But with Sonic Mania and Superstars, it decided to pull a Metal Gear on us. You see, Mania and Superstars slot right in before the events of Sonic Adventure, and Sonic 4 if we ever get to see the conclusion to that story, but we also have to add in Triple Trouble to the mix because of Fang, which means the 8-bit platformers are canon too. Not to mention Mighty and Ray, which means Sega Sonic Arcade as well as Sonic the Fighters are canon for adding in Bean and Bark, and already this timeline is becoming a mess. Like I said, the order of events remains linear with Sonic Adventure onwards, with each new game being inserted after the next. Some are questionable, such as the Rider series, but future games have retconned or changed certain things to keep everything consistent. The question as to the passage of time is dubious, but Eggman is a cartoon villain. He has a new world-conquering plot every week. But if that's the case, then what is the actual canon of the classic era of Sonic the Hedgehog? Well, to start off, we have a baseline of events: Sonic 1, CD, 2, 3 and Knuckles, Mania, and Superstars. So where does everything else go? Well, it looks a bit like this. Yeah, it's a bit confusing, but I'll explain it. Now, despite what Ian Flynn stated on two separate occasions, on Sega Sonic taking place either after Sonic R or after 3 Knuckles, the events of the game don't make much sense as Sonic was easily captured along with Mighty and Ray, and despite escaping the self-destructing island, they don't fight Eggman or save animals. So at that point, I think Sega Sonic Arcade should be taking place before the first game, as Sonic recognizes Eggman and has a means to stop him during Sonic 1. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 8-bit takes place between CD and Sonic 2, as Tails have been captured. But prior to that is also Tails' Adventure, as Tails is going solo in that game to defend Cocoa Island. Next up is Sonic Chaos, which is succeeded by Triple Trouble, which should take place after Sonic 3, which introduces Fang to the mix. Which doesn't make much sense, as this will be the second time Knuckles has been duped by Eggman, who then shatters the Chaos Emerald in Sonic Blast. Following this will be Tails' Sky Patrol and his encounter with Witch Cart, Knuckles meeting the Chaotix on Neutronic Island, and finally, both of them helping Sonic in 3D Blast on Flicky's Island. And rounding this mess of a timeline up is everyone fighting each other for the chance to fight Eggman on a Death Egg, and then racing to stop Eggman from stealing the Chaos Emerald from a Grand Prix. And yes, shockingly, Sonic R actually had a plot. And there we go, a reasonably consistent timeline of Sonic the Hedgehog, but where are Spinball, Drift, and Labyrinth? Well, here's the thing. Sonic Spinball is dubious as it includes Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonic Saiyan characters, and with Tails being able to fly a plane that's not specifically Sonic's, it's hard to place where Eggman's Vegomatic would appear. Plus, it was stated to be non-canon along with Sonic Labyrinth, which is more of a platform puzzle game. But both have since been established as canon since they were referenced in later media, so let's put these before and after Sky Patrol as Sonic Labyrinth did reference it. As for Sonic Drift, there's no plot, it's just a racing game. And finally, after all the counter introductions, references to other games and the release dates, I'm confident that this is the most theoretically accurate timeline of the classic Sonic era. It still looks like a mess. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like this video if you did, and subscribe for future videos. And if you really want to support the channel, you can by leaving a super thanks or becoming a YouTube member. Thanks again everyone, and as always, I shall see you all next time.